your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100+ globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100+ global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500+ multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100+ authorized training partners and 50+ universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000+ members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100+ globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100+ global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500+ multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100+ authorized training partners and 50+ universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000+ members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining today's session. We'll be starting a session now. Please allow me a minute so I can share my screen. And meanwhile, please let us know where you are joining this session from in the chat box. And here we go. I hope you all can my screen. And again, thank you so much for joining today's session. On behalf of GSDC, I would love to give you all a very warm welcome to our series GSDC Certified Learning from Blue Links to AI Citations Mastering the GEO Playbook for 2026 with a theme that is winning visibility in the AI for search era. My name is Preetham. I'll be here as moderator. Please do let me know if you have any question or any concern during the session. Feel free to reach out to me over the chat box and I'm happy to assist you all. And this is incredible panel of experts aligned for this entire series, which is happening this week from 26 to 30th January 2026 with the time slot that is 8:30 a.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Singapore, 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time and 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please do join us for all the remaining sessions as well. I'll share the registration link in the chat box shortly. And before I could hand over the session to our speaker today, would love to quickly introduce our hosting organization, GSDC. We known as Global Skill Development Council. We are vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body, and I'm very proud to inform you all that we are accredited by EBICB. We do have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified more than 250,000 professionals worldwide. We have 500 plus subject matter experts with us. They work with us closely to design our exams, programs, and all the deliverables. And also, we are associated with 1,000 multinational corporates and 500 Fortune companies and 50 plus universities across the globe. And I'm very proud to inform you all that we do have 100 plus authorized training partner across the globe. We have partner in Asia, Africa, Canada, America, and many other countries. So I would love to thank you those who have joined us through our training partner channel. In case if you are looking for any training program for yourself, feel free to reach out to our training partners to have an inquiry about it. I'll share the contact details shortly in the chat box. A special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub. They cover all our events and press releases. I would love to quickly introduce you all to this exciting thing that GSDC has introduced earlier, GSDC AI Studio. This is a platform where we are providing 100 plus live sessions on AI, which is led by global experts, where you will be getting 4 daily session, 45 minutes of impactful live session along with the hands-on learning session from global experts. So this is the opportunity where you will be getting to learn from the AI leaders around the world and real-time practice, which means you will be getting opportunity to apply all the concepts that you have learned in that particular session, and in case if you get any questions or any doubts, that will be resolved instantly with the help of our subject matter experts. And this training is aligned with the industry standards for job ready skills. How you can access to this GSDC AI Studio in easy 3 steps. Start your learning right away for 14 days completely free, where you will be getting 80 plus live session and full access to GSDC Studio. And the another plan that you can go for is GSDC lifelong membership with $109, where you will be getting lifetime access, 80 plus live session each month, full access to GSDC Studio, free GSDC membership. You'll be getting access to all our physical events and LinkedIn profile improver. The last plan that you can go for is GSDC certification plus lifetime membership with $100, which is of course a limited time offer, where you'll be getting access to GSDC certification, all benefits of lifetime membership, personalized coaching, capstone project plus AI tool, GSDC Copilot and assessment tool. If you want to know more about the GSDC AI Studio, get in touch with our learning advisor. I'll share the contact details shortly in the chat box. So our current certification portfolio holds certification on different domain, which includes L&D, HR, generative AI, agentic AI, emerging technologies. I also lead auditor, implementer, project management, PMO, agile DevOps, SRE, cybersecurity, digital transformation, and so on. So this certification is specifically designed for all the professionals who wants to upskill themselves and who are looking to stay industry relevant in this AI era, right? So get in touch with a learning advisor, or you can visit our website, which is www.gsdcouncil.org, to get more information regarding all this certification and to check other offerings that GSDC has for all of you. What all benefits you'll be getting with this certificate? So you'll become GSDC's member for a lifelong. With that, you'll be getting certificate upgrade. You'll be having free access to all our events, workshop, boot camps, and guess what? You'll be having access to all our exclusive learning program that we have. Along with that, you'll be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletter. So many benefits, right? So get in touch with a learning advisor. I'll share the contact details shortly in the chat box, or you can check our website to understand more about these benefits. And without any further delay, I would love to introduce our today's speaker, Dean Whitby. He is a founder, speaker, author, GEO expert. He is a personal branding strategy, AI and automation, tenacious sales, and he'll be taking us through the very important topic, which is from keywords to context, understanding GEO optimization. I would love to introduce Dean more a little bit more. So Dean is the founder of Tenacious AI Marketing Global, as mentioned, is a multi-brand growth group operating at intersection of AI, SEO, and generative engine optimization with 20 plus years of experience in startup acceleration, personal branding, and AI powered marketing. He helps founders and leadership teams move from invisible to in demand in AI era. Dean is the creator of the Vital framework and AI-led content system used globally to earn AI visibility, citations, and conversions across search, social, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Named Visionary Marketing Leader of the Year UK by SME News, he also hosts the Built with Dean YouTube series, breaking down the future of search, zero-click marketing, and agentic AI. Today, Dean focuses on helping brands stop chasing ranking and start earning AI trust and citations. Because in 2026, if AI doesn't mention you, you don't exist. Thank you so much, Dean. It's truly honor to have you for today's session. A warm welcome to you as well, and hand over of the virtual mic now. You can have it. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and welcome everybody to the presentation. The question that I'd like to start with, and you already have the introduction of who I am, is if you walked into a library and obviously there's a lot of books, but there were no labels, then wouldn't it be very hard for you to pick the right book for that moment, or whatever it is that you need that book for? And that is exactly what AI engines and LLMs are trying to do right now, is to understand, which book goes where, and to present the right answer to the users. And one thing is true: the customer wins every time. So, at the end of the day, if they are going to be searching within LLMs for your business, then you want to have the right labels so that it can find what you do, what expertise you have, and be able to serve that up as an answer. And that's where today's presentation is about. How do you do that, and how do you then give the context to then be the citation within those engines. So that's what we're looking to try and cover for you today. So, understanding GEO, gone are the days, well, they're still there. So I'll tell you a story. Back 18 months ago, how this came about for us was that we were using LLMs and AI engines quite a lot. And we had an American partners that were well ahead of the game in terms of generative engine optimization. And I was having a conversation with them, and they were saying to me, why would people click the links and do the research if they can get the answer in 20 seconds? And I thought, well, that's really interesting. I think you're onto something there. So around about 18 months ago, we began, myself and my team, studying generative engine optimization and answer engine optimization, which was another term for it then, and to look at, well, what is that, and how do you actually tackle that? Is it the same as SEO? Does SEO solve the problem? And what we found was that it didn't, and so we started. It does. It's the first layer, maybe, but the fundamental difference is a shift from keywords to context. I've sat in front of brands that have 30,000 organic visitors from Google, but only a matter of 100 citations from AI. And there is a fundamental reason for that, which is what we're going to talk about today, and what we're going to go through. So the search experience is changing. Visibility can happen without a visit. So you can rank on page 1 of Google, but AI answers are so effective that 60% of clicks now go without, or 60% of searches go without a click. So traffic's no longer the only scoreboard for you to aim for. And the answers, even in AI overviews at the top, are given. And now obviously with the Google AI mode, and going back to that story I was saying about our American partners, what was interesting was 18 months ago was when we were putting out videos and talking about both Ask Engine Optimization and Generative Engine Optimization, is that, you know, it was people were laughing at us. What changed after a long time of that, where people thought that maybe we were just talking about something that was never going to happen because of Google's dominance, was that AI overlays became a thing. So Google started to put the answer at the top. So that was the first time we knew that actually Google thinks this is a thing. And then obviously when Google went and did rolled out AI mode, it didn't just roll it out in 1 or 2 countries, which is the normal procedure, but it then went further than that and rolled it out with the fastest rollout in history for Google, to 180 countries for Google AI mode. So we're seeing a glimpse into the future, and you know, Google competing with OpenAI and with Sam Altman, ChatGPT. At that point, then, since then, we've been seen as global experts because we've had 18 months of studying and training. It's not new to us since those changes last year. So if traffic's no longer the scoreboard, then, you know, what is it about then? So it's about optimizing for AI generated answers. And you want to be with the goal of inclusion and citation within those answers. And in some ways that's simple, and in some ways that's incredibly difficult. So we're not looking to rank on page 1 when we do that, although the work will help your SEO as well. So if you concentrate on GEO, you don't ditch SEO, because what actually we've found is that, well, Google quite likes it too, and Google does have AI mode, which is an AI engine. So you're optimizing for the future of Google also. Plus, you want to be in the answers at the top. So how does it work? So it's about interpreting the question. So when people search in an LLM or an AI engine, they're searching in a very different way to when they search on Google. In Google, they're looking for, you're putting probably shorter words. So if I was going to search for an accountant, I might put, you know, accountants in, and then a location maybe. In an LLM, you know, then the question's probably going to be more like a question. You may well type that, but actually, still the LLM is likely to search for a question. And so what you want to have is some content or something that exists somewhere that talks about, you know, that interprets the question and then answers that question. Why? Because then AI can cite you, so can mention you in as a response to that question that the user has searched. And just having the content's not the only point there. So remember, if we go back to the library side of things, so it's got to understand that you have the answer to the question, but it's also then got to understand some layers of other things about you. So, so schema is one thing. So that's kind of a label. So schema is JSON-led code. So it's computer talk, effectively. So it's a code that tells AI engines to what your content is about, who you are, who your organization is, sometimes your services, any awards that you've won. Imagine like the library, it's the label, it's the it's the direction for an LLM to understand what you're about. So that's the reason why the brands who have 30,000 organic views a month within Google are not seen within AI, because typically they don't have the right schema is the first thing. AI can't see them because they're invisible, because they don't have the schema. So AI doesn't search websites in the set, or not just websites, but content in general, in the same way that Google does. It's not going to read your content. It's just looking for the best source to copy and paste an answer to. If there are no answers, it can't copy and paste. If there is no schema, it can't see you to copy and paste the answers. So the first layer is, schema. The second layer is interpret the question, retrieve candidate sources, synthesize an answer, and then you may well get cited. And typically, if you can prove that answer using external citations, then that helps too. So keywords have been demoted. Context is the decision layer, and your intent beats phrasing. So you've got to really want to try and answer users' questions, and that requires also being able to think about what are the users asking? What are people asking? It's actually a really brilliant, enlightening business to make you slow down and think, well, actually, who are the people that we want to be in front of, and what questions are they asking? And that really helps you to get a lot of context as well on your business. But intent and context is the aim. So people ask longer questions. So you've really got to think about long tail questions. So, things like, going back to the accountant side of things, someone might type, is there an accountant in New Orleans that doesn't just do the books at the end of the year, that can help my business grow and understands profit first? That might be a question that's asked. If it comes into marketing, are there marketing agencies that can do a one-stop shop from start to finish that also have video production? These are the kind of questions that a lot more long tail, they're not keywords, and those are the kind of things that you want to be trying to tackle. And then also you want to have things like comparisons, so that, and sometimes neutrality. So for instance, listicles are a great piece of content that you can be writing. Why? Because Google and SEO and Bing and SEO have been around for many, many years. So they've kind of ironed out all of the kind of tricks that you might be able to play. So at the end of the day, you have to invest a long period of time to get to number one typically, and you're rewarded for that investment into your SEO. With AI engines, they're still trying to understand and learn who everyone is and find the labels. And so they're creating their own entity knowledge graphs, not using always the traditional knowledge graphs that would exist from Google, for example. So if you're going to write a listicle and you're going to review 10 people in your industry, and you put yourself as number one, and you're a credible source, then don't be surprised if you don't get citations for being one of the best in your industry. So there's little things that you can do from a generative engine optimization point of view that you can't from a SEO point of view, that will mean that you can outrank much bigger brands. It's very much a first mover opportunity, no different to when the internet came along and websites came up. SEO was something that nobody dominated, and internet, those who had the first websites really cleaned up. Those who get known to AI first will do incredibly well and be very, very successful. So listicles, comparisons, content, so things like X versus Y content, use cases, and those kind of things are really powerful. So the context stack that you need to be thinking about is the intent of how you write your content as a business. And across all platforms, this isn't just writing blogs. It's about across all platforms, because you also then need to think about entities. And entities are you as a person. So AI cares about people just as much as it cares about companies. Now, that's going to be a challenge for a lot of businesses in 2026, because a lot of businesses have focused on their brand as a corporate brand. And what they're going to need to focus on is their brand as people, as one of those layers, as an entity. And the company also will be an entity, and then all sorts of other entities that you'll have. Relationships. So that's going to be very important. Evidence in terms of reviews, evidence in terms of case studies, and making sure that that content is not only there, that all of this is refreshed regularly. Because that's the other thing about AI and engines, is that they require refreshed content, and they require, so, you know, it can't be that you do it for a while and then you switch off for 18 months, because you're going to find those citations will probably move away. What it rewards is constant freshness. So we as a business will be updating our 2025 content with the dates of 2026, so that AI sees it as fresh content. Thus, it's more likely to cite us to as the answer for certain questions. But it's got to match the search intent. That's more important than ever, that whatever you do produce answers the questions, and there's a fit. And then there's finally the format fit. So how we normally write blogs, and how we normally write website content and social content and all of that, is with a voice of people first. And that slightly changes, because now you need to have an AI lens too. And there's two lenses here. And if you're really buying into generative engine optimization, you believe that there's a first mover opportunity here, then, which I do, but if you do too, then you probably want to look at the AI lens first, and then just make sure that it's good for people too. So what does an AI lens first look like? So when you're talking about format fit, you're talking about the structure of the content. So if I explain kind of in an example of a blog, we would normally lay that out. We'd be thinking keywords throughout the first 100 words, keywords in the title, keywords in the H1, the H2, but now we're thinking questions. So all of the H1s and H2s ought to be questions, a good chance for you to answer lots of questions. And then in the structure of the blog, tables within that blog, so comparing different scenarios are really useful. Bullet points. So look at the answers. If you search anything into an LLM, have a look at the answers, and it's incredibly kind of bullet pointy. When we're typically writing for people, it's paragraph and conversational. So what we need to do is just kind of take a format or a focus on answering the question first, but also make it enough that, you know, humans will also like the content. So that the AI engine, once it's seen your label, if you have the schema, it sees you. Now it's comparing your content. It thinks that you're a good entity. It thinks that you have the evidence that you're worthy to cite. And then the answer is structured in a way that is kind of more bullet pointy and straight to the point and direct, which matches the intent of the user's question. So it's a slight tweak to how we write content. The same for the website. You know, we write content for our websites for people, and we need to potentially flip that and answer some questions. And and be thinking about that AI lens. So, is it a format fit? So brands are entities, people are entities, products and categories are entities. So all of these need schema. And so you need to be telling AI, like in the library, this is who we are, this is what we've got to read, this is the brand, and these are the products. Now that's another reason that's a big problem for that B2C brand that we mentioned. So if they have the 30,000 organic visitors, in AI they only have 100. Now, here's the problem. If 30,000 people are also opening LLMs, and I think ChatGPT's got 1 billion users now. So if they're opening the LLM, you can actually search for one of their products and buy it right inside in the AI engine, which is a huge opportunity for revenue. It's not if you're only getting 100 citations. It is if you're going to get 30,000. And AI can do that for you. There'll be no research. The research will happen in the AI engine. So these B2C brands who are struggling to get seen in the AI engine are risking losing a lot of revenue if they don't get on board with the generative engine optimization. A big part of that is schema for the products, because products are written not always with the right schema, so they're just invisible. But if the schema was rewritten, that would be my first bit of advice, for all of their products, then all of a sudden they may well find that they're going to be getting citations from those products. And people can then buy those products directly. So in terms of citation fitness, so you want to have specific answers. You want to have those structured answers that we talked about, corroborated answers. So if there are, bodies outside yourself, AI doesn't really care a lot for our opinions. But if we can position ourselves as experts and then provide external proof. So for example, if we're writing blogs, I will always tell my team to put at least a couple of external citations into those blogs that corroborate what we're talking about, but it's not us, not just us. And then also to write that content as if they were trying to offer AI the opportunity to copy and paste us. A lot of definitions. So what else does it like to cite? Step-by-step processes, comparisons, how to choose X, Y, Z, checklists, and claims with proof. So things like so the shift is kind of from fluffy presentational traditional content writing to more clarity, structured, and evidence-based content across online. The other thing that would be a really good tip for you is where you have listing sites. So a lot of us are listed, so we'll have business profiles like LinkedIn, TikTok, Google My Business, Google, Bing, and then we'll be in all of these listicles, typically in the country that we live in, or sometimes globally. And there'll be things like Yell and Yelp and Hotfrog, and there's all these different ones. Most businesses are in about between, 10 to 20 of them at least. All of those need to say the same thing about your business. There needs to be uniformity, because when you're thinking of labels, if AI is searching which company to cite, but all of your listing profiles say different things because you've been in business for 30 years and you don't really need to update them because they work for SEO. Not anymore. You probably it's an admin task. You probably want to update all of the business listings, everything that's online about you, so that it all says the same thing. It makes it much simpler for AI to know, like, and trust you. So we talked about structure, creating answer assets built to be quoted as you go through the content that you create. So definitions, comparisons, pricing realities, mistakes, checklists, playbooks. AI loves these as assets to give to people. So begin creating those. Topical authority. So it's about answering with more intent more quickly. But then, that authority that you have matters. The other thing that is important to give you an idea on is how the searches happen. So Google traditionally would search a piece of content and then rank that content amongst everything else that it has availability to. And that's changed because of how LLMs search. So what happens now is what they call a multi-vector search. So it's actually going to search multiple pieces of content. So what you need to do is interlink your content. So again, at the base layer of blogs, and we'll explain why that's just a base layer, it's about you writing content for a certain subject, but then you've got to have kind of 5 or 6 pillar blogs that also talk about different angles to that subject, and you just keep constantly writing around. So if it was LinkedIn, how to update your profile would be one. How to win clients win leads on LinkedIn. How to do events on LinkedIn would be another, and they'd all cluster together so that AI can see that you're an expert on that subject. Authority is the next part. So what it does differently to Google is it's not just looking at that one piece of content. It wants to know an authority. So there's the 7-11-4 rule where you need to be, it's said by HubSpot, Gartner and other, you need to be on at least 4 platforms, and people need to consume at least 7 hours of your content across, and have 11 touch points before they'll buy from your brand. So those are the statistics. For AI, that's also true. It's looking for multiple sources of proof that you are the person or the business or the products to cite. So it starts with your website, and then blogs we've mentioned are the next thing. And backlinks also, traditional SEO as a layer, if you like, but questions first, not keywords. Schema, making sure that it can actually see you're in the library effect, it can read you. And if you don't know what schema is, or you have any questions about that, fire it at the end. There'll be some questions and we can kind of go into a bit more on that. Or feel free to reach out after the event, and I'll be happy to help you with how to do that, because it's going to be quite important. YouTube is a great example of a resource right now, because YouTube allows you to put transcripts behind the videos, and those transcripts are passable to AI. And YouTube is in 30% of all answers in LLMs, in visibility in AI search results. So YouTube, 30% of the answers will have YouTube cited because of that. So by launching a YouTube channel, it's actually a really powerful way, one of not just connecting with people, but growing that authority. And Gemini and Perplexity as engines have started serving up YouTube videos a lot more too, because obviously they're linked within the same group. But also Reddit on top of that. So a lot of us as business owners are not within Reddit as a platform, but Reddit is Reddit-based discussions referenced in 40% of AI-driven in LLMs around the world. So that's a good opportunity, YouTube and Reddit, for you to, and that's just about being involved in those discussions on Reddit. So that would be, there are other forums, there's Quora, there's many other kind of forums. Press and industry mentions, PR is just emerging as a way for AI to see that you are somebody. So, quotations in the press can be really important. There's many ways to do that, but it's a chance for you to invest in your PR. And then the reviews and comparisons. So again, case studies and reviews. The transcript equals context. The chapters equal structure. the videos equal authority signals. So the easy way to do this is, think of a podcast style talk, film it on Zoom, invite someone to talk about a subject, two people talk about it for an hour, a transcript goes behind it. It's useful for people, but it's great for AI because all of that conversation, so you could interview your customers, you could interview your partners, there's so many different things you could do for long form podcast style. But then also short form, imagine like doing almost a definitions reel for your own industry. So, I'm sure there's probably 600 million questions that you get asked by customers and clients. For all of those, you can create short little 60-second answer videos and upload those as shorts. So that would be really simple for you to do without much. You don't have to be a creator to do those two things, but the power of that could amplify and be really important. So look at buyer questions, chapter definitions, and then repurpose the transcripts into SRT and TXT files as the captions in there. With Reddit, it's about answering with proof, not promotion. So not spamming, but just getting involved in conversations within your industry can really help you. So what you want to be doing weekly is you want to be looking at focusing on what are the questions that are being asked. You want to be looking at mapping the entities. So your business and your products, mapping those using schema to train AI in its new, knowledge graphs about your business, and then publish an answer, publish a video, update an existing asset, write a blog, update the website. These are all things that you can be doing now that you understand what you need to do and why that's important. So it's about owning the comparisons. What you want to be measuring then in 2026 is the citation presence. So for those questions that you want to rank for and you produce content for within these generative engine optimizations, is you want to be, again, thinking about context and intent. What are people searching for? How can I answer the question? But then go back in and manually, because there isn't a tool yet really that is at a price level for the mass market that will do it automatically. But go back in and put those questions into 2 or 3 LLMs, and you're looking for a presence for yourself. If you're not there still, then you can see who is cited, and you can look at your content. Can you improve the content? Is there another piece of content that you could do based on the, who is being cited for those particular prompts? Look at the brand mentions and the kind of the fit. So that as a 30-day plan coming away from here, we know now that generative engine optimization is not going away, and it's going to be really important. So what are those 20 questions that you would want to be the answer for? And start there. It's probably actually going to be difficult to find those questions because you probably would have, well, there's probably 100 questions if you went and spoke to your team. There's probably a lot of questions that you come up with, but pick 20 and then just start setting about, answering those questions within your content that you're going to produce. And if you don't produce content, then you've got to start, so that, because the opportunity is huge. Try and publish a couple of videos. None of us really like to get on camera, but that's one of the things that we promote. We also promote personal branding and the importance of that, because in an AI world, in a sea of AI content, the only authentic thing is you. So being raw with your content is really important. And the Vital Framework, the book that I've just written, is about that. So it's about, the V is for visibility, the I is for identity. So that's about your entities. The T is about trust. So similarly, it's about gaining trust. And then the A is authority. So, are you an authority that's citable and worthy of being? Are you an expert in your field? And the L is more around leverage. So, do you have partners? Is there leverage? Could you be on podcasts? Could you be doing your own talks, like this one today, and looking at those areas? So keywords are what people type. Context is what they mean, and it's not ranking. It's all about selection. The opportunity with generative engine optimization today it is massive. According to industry projections that I've read, like Gartner or Forrester, or if you went off this call or this event and you were to research that, the statistic is 40% of search queries by the end of 2026 will be answered within AI engines, which is crazy considering the dominance that has been there from Google over the years. So I hope you see it as an opportunity, as we do, and I hope that this talk is useful for you to see how it works and what you might need to do and what you might need to tackle going forward in 2026. I'll open the floor to any questions, I guess.
Hello, Dean. Thank you so much. I believe that we have started with the Q&A session, right?
Yep.
I can see some amazing question. We have already got it over the chat box. So I'll be reading it for you one by one. So let's start from, we have got question from Harendra. How does GEO change the way brands should think about visibility compared to traditional keyword SEO?
So it's again, it's about the context of how we write content and answering those questions. So context is the word really about how people should think about visibility. So much of it is kind of the what we've discussed, but if you can come up with the questions that people are asking and that people want to understand, and then you can set about thinking as a person, as a company, as someone that could help those people who have those questions. It's about trying to answer those questions and looking at, if you take that mentality and you start to do that, and you start that today, and you answer 10 questions a week, that's 520 questions that you can answer in a year. If you answer 100 questions a week, that's 5,200 questions that you can answer. And if they're structured in the right way, the visibility from those LLMs could be huge. So that would be the change.
Great, thank you so much, Dean. There's another question from Harind. Which schema types are most important for supporting GEO today and why?
Which MR types?
It's a schema, SHEMA, schema.
Well, see, I think schema has changed slightly because schema is not a new thing. Schema's been around in SEO. So typically, if you've done any SEO in the past, then what might happen is if you were putting a blog up onto your website, there would be schema, and that schema would still kind of say, this is a blog. The blog's about skating, ice skating, and it's a how to do a figure eight twist, and it's written by this author, and this was the date it was written. It might be something like that you'd find in the schema. When the schema is for AI, you might find something that says, okay, so the entity is XYZ ice skating. The person is Dean Whitby. The date is Dean's company is, and then it would give the company context entity. If there are any trading names, it would give an also known as trading name. Then that same schema would have schema for the services that we offer potentially. It would mention the awards that Pritam kindly mentioned at the start, that any awards that you've won as a business, the schema would let them know that. And then also FAQs. So we want to ask questions here. So every time you write a blog, there's an opportunity to have FAQs at the bottom of that blog. So if it was schema for a blog, it just changes, because what you now need to tell the AI is, not only is this what the blog's about, but this is who we are as entities, and this is why you should cite it. So if that schema's not there, AI can't decide you, because it doesn't know you, because you're just telling it what the blog's about, but it doesn't have any context on you. So that's how I see the change in schema, that they're all kind of as important as each other. Certainly, I think the schema on the organization and you as a person, and the context around why you, is very important, especially with those, updating those listing sites as well, so that all of your schema matches everything that's online front facing about your business and about you, and all of that information.
Very well explained. Thank you so much, Dreen. Moving forward to next question. How can content teams better optimize for user intent rather than specific keywords?
Yeah, and this is a challenge for people to get their heads around, because for content teams, we only know what we know so far, and we do what we've always done. But if we do what we've always done, then then we're going to get what we've always got. So it's a really difficult change for content teams, because they do really have to think about, okay, why am I making this video? Why am I writing this blog? Why am I putting this on my website? Or why am I putting this in the forum? Like, what is the potential intent of the answers that we're writing the questions for? And all of that is a very different shift to, here is a subject, and we want to just take people through the best answer to that subject, because now you need to think about the format, the structure of the content, and also the context and the intent of that content. So it's a big change, but my advice would be get some training. If you have a team, get some training. If it's for yourself, get some training and work on that, because it's a muscle that you need to practice, and practice makes perfect.
That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much, Drain. Moving forward to another question, we have got it from Saurabh. What role does user intent play in GEO compared to keyword targeting, and why is the context important in AI search?
Because for that, simply AI has to answer a lot of questions. So, if we're talking about LLMs, they're getting asked, if there's 1 billion users on ChatGPT and they all use it daily, that's 1 billion questions that need answering. That's a lot of questions. So if you think of the LLM's role, which is just to answer questions with the best intent, it really does it wants to copy and paste. So it's looking for you, it's desperately seeking you. You just need to make it see you, and that's why it's really important, the intent side of things.
Great. Thank you so much, Dean. Moving forward to another question again from Harendra. What are the most common mistakes brands make when transitioning from keyword-based SEO to GEO?
So the most common problem is probably forgetting that context side of things, or making the content so dry that they've put such a focus on the AI lens that they forgot about that people are going to turn up there sometimes too. And so if the shift is too far, and then it becomes that actually people then still land on your website, or land on your content, or watch your video, but then they switch off. So that's one of the biggest mistakes. You still need to keep, as we talked about lenses, start with an AI lens now, but keep people lens in there. It still needs to be appealing for those that are going to come and see and try and convert. And also probably underestimating the size and the challenge. To us, it seems simple. So we talk about it in a way that it's really, really simple, but it's not. It's a fundamental change to how we do things. And so don't underestimate it. Do invest in some training, and put some time aside to learn the skill.
Okay, thank you so much, Dean. Moving forward to another question, we have got it from Savrab. What is the content structure in context optimization?
So I think if you think about the structure should be in terms of answering questions, but also layouts. So if in any piece of content, whether it's a video or a blog, or images, because I think rich media is very important as well. Carousels would be true of this too. Also, infographics is a great opportunity because LLMs they're getting a lot of content now, but they're not necessarily getting a lot of rich imagery. So if you have that ability to produce imagery and also videos and carousels and those kind of things as well, and put those on your social media channels, for example, as a way to distribute that and within your blogs, then that's really important. But whatever the piece of content is that you start away right at the top is the title of that piece of content needs to be really bang on the search intent, so that the as an answer, a direct answer to the query or question that you want to rank for as a citation. And then the structure of how you write that, the very first part should be like a key takeaways part. But actually this you write last. That's what we would do. We would write this last. So you'd write your content that answers the question, has a lot of bullet points, has tables, is direct to the point, not waffling, not trying to present or impress people. Just try and answer in bullet point structure throughout your blog. The H1s and H2s, and the same for videos, the subtitles of parts of points of topic or discussion want to be questions, not statements or headlines. And then try and have some comparisons within there, so a little bit of neutrality in the content that you write. And then a good call to action at the end. And if it is written content, so if it is carousels, not necessarily infographics, but if it's carousels or blogs, then you'd want to have an FAQ section at the bottom with at least 6 questions answered, in my opinion. And that means within every blog, you can answer kind of 15 to 20 questions. If you do that and structure it in that way, you can answer a lot of questions in one blog. And then at the end, take that blog and then write a summary, a key takeaways, a summary, whatever you want to call it, an intro, right at the top, which is bullet points. This is what you're going to read, and all of the answers are there. So if someone didn't need to read your blog, but they could get the exact same answers, then that's the perfect structure, because that's what's probably going to be copied and used in AI overlays. Even if it's not in an LLM, Google's going to use it.
Great. Thank you so much, Dean, for detailed explanation. Would you mind taking few more questions, because I can see a lot of questions in the chat box? So
No, that's
is it
fine.
okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
wonderful.
sure.
Thank you so much. So there's another question. What are the first steps to applying GEO principles to a YouTube channel?
Yeah. So I think first of all, the balance between long form and short form. Long form is a great way to, like I say, if you could just get a couple of people having a talk about a topic, what that does is it takes away from scripted. It increases the level of authenticity when you just have 2 people discussing a subject. Of course, you have to be careful what you make public into the public eye. So by having a transcript, it's passable to AI. So that could have as much positive benefits as it does negative benefits. But I think that's a really good bit of advice, because anyone could have a conversation with a friend, with a colleague, with a partner, with a supplier. Anyone could have a conversation about something that they're interested in, and then that becomes a really genuine piece of authority from your YouTube channel. The Shorts is in my opinion, the major play for 2026. So you would be, looking at answering individual questions in your Shorts, and even you could have like a dictionary for accountancy, a dictionary for commercial law, or so that you answer all of the questions that anyone could possibly ask, and you have them on YouTube with the transcripts passable, which is a great play for getting more answers out there much quicker. In terms of the structure of a video, again, if we're creating those kind of more medium form tips and how-to videos, then it's just important about remembering, in a similar way to the blogs, the structure of that content, and trying to think, well, actually, YouTube is a people first almost channel, but now we've got to have an AI lens to it. So content that people will watch will grow. If you're consumer based, if we're trying to be a Mr. Beast and we want a million, 60 million subscribers, then of course the content is very much people focused, and we're going for algorithm, we're going for revenue off the kind of viewership. But what for most people they miss with YouTube is the opportunity for other revenues. So what are those revenues? So the revenue from generative engine optimization. So the brands that are going to see you and then buy from you because of that YouTube. The revenue from when you structure your YouTube in that way, other brands are going to want to get to your audience as part of that. And so they'll offer you partnership and collaboration opportunities. And then, other things that you might not have thought of, which is, within a YouTube video, there's the opportunity to have adverts. And those adverts, they've become like TV advertising, whereby you could sell all of the ad slots in your YouTube channel to one company, and then 2 months later you could sell them to another. So it becomes kind of revenue generation in a very different way. But most importantly for generative engine optimization is that AI can see who you are, and YouTube is a very authoritative piece, and it's responsible for 30% of all answers in LLMs currently.
Great. Thank you so much, Dane, for a detailed explanation again. Moving forward to the next question, and before that, I would like to tell all the participants that I do have some great announcement for all of you. So please stay connected till the end, and I'll be taking two or three questions because we are almost done with the time which is scheduled for the Q&A. So I'll be covering 2 or 3 questions. In case if I miss any question, I do apologize in advance. Please feel free to reach out to Dean. I have already shared his LinkedIn profile link in the chat box. I believe he's more than happy to help you all, right? So moving forward to the question, we have got it from Sudarshan. We have hundreds of blogs published on our website, but only a few of them appears as citations, references or sources in LLM. Results such as ChatGPT. If want to increase the number of our blog being used as citations or references, do I need to revamp or optimize our existing blog content?
Yes is the question, and it's a really good opportunity for you to do that. There's a couple of ways you could do that. One is you could go through and pick the pieces of content that you like, and then that you think is going to be the most valuable. So if you have 100 blogs, it's quite an exercise to go in and update all of those blogs. But if you have the team to do that, then definitely. But if not, pick the ones that you see as the most valuable, and then go back in and just set about changing some of the H1s and H2s. Can you use the same content? And you can probably potentially use LLMs to help you with this process, whereby can you recreate those in a way that they answer a few more questions. But more importantly, can you change the schema behind those blogs so that they cover more of the entities, you, the business, the the awards that you've won, what the blog covers, and if that's if you can add FAQs at the bottom of the blog and then add the FAQs into the schema also, then AI doesn't even have to look at your content to understand the questions you've answered at the bottom of a blog. So even that alone, if you did that 100 times and just adding the FAQ section at the bottom, even if you change none of the content, just change the title to a 2026 title or update the title to something that matches keyword intent and added the FAQs, then you'd have 500 questions answered that AI can see and can cite straight away. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you'd look at your Google Search Console and work out the blogs that have got the most impressions and clicks and then update those ones.
Wonderfully answered. Thank you so much, Dean. The second last question, we have got it from Sneha. How can smaller brands compete with large enterprises in GEO-driven landscape?
Interesting. I think this is a very much a first mover opportunity with generative engine optimization. I think it's the first time currently that small brands can outrank massive brands. It's because it's actually harder to make online uniformity and to update every product and blog for a large brand than it is for a small brand. So if schema and uniformity across the web is the first layer so that AI can see you, that's much easier for a small brand to do than it is for a large brand. And so invest in it now. You will find that you can be ranked alongside brands that you have no right to be there, that would take you 3 years to do so in SEO within 3 or 4 months.
Thank you so much, Dean. So the last question, I'll be reading it for today. And as I mentioned, I do apologize, dear participant, in case if I'm missing any question. I request you all to please reach out to Dean, or you can post your queries over social media and tag GSDC. We'll make sure that one of our subject matter expert is getting or addressing your queries over the social media. Thank you so much. The question we have got it from Swapnil. What metrics or factors should be tracked to measure a website GEO based performance, and from which sources can this data be obtained?
Good, yeah, good question. So there are some sources to track. So you would have if you have a Google Search Console. If you don't, you can get one. You just search Google Search Console and sign up for it. So that's going to give you the information that Google knows of you, and that can be that can be quite useful anyhow, because this is going to improve your SEO anyway. When you're doing the generative engine optimization, when you look at your Google Analytics profile, and if you move the search of that from